got 99.9 for this game, too. Okay. And welcome out to the South Point Arena Hotel Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada for Game 5 of 6 today here at the D3Hoops.com Classic. This featuring the 11th ranked Blue Golds of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire and the Gustavus Adolphus Gusties. The Gusties come in at 2-5, 0-2 in MIAC play, and Eau Claire having a fantastic season so far, 8-1 overall. Have yet to start their conference action. I'm Pat Coleman, joined by Gordon Mann, Dave McHugh, producing here for this game this evening. And, of course, Gordon, we just came off of a game that was fantastically entertaining, featured two unbeaten teams, with Ramapo handing Salisbury its first loss of the season. And these two teams had to sit here and watch most of that, including Mark Hansen, the head coach, came over to me after the amazing putback dunk and said, "This is a Division III player?"
Yeah, well, Ramapo's got a lot of very talented athletes on its team, and now they've got a signature win. And we said earlier in the game, Ramapo earlier in that last game, they win here tonight. They won't be just also receiving votes; they'll be in the top 25, and barring completely getting obliterated tomorrow by Gustavus Adolphus, they'll be in the top 25. But as stirring as that must have been for Mark Hansen, he's got bigger problems right now, as he's got the number 11th ranked Eau Claire Blue Golds, and gives us a chance to welcome in our friends from 99.9 Blue Gold Radio up in Wisconsin. Well, I hope that this is a little more excitement for you offensively than the women's game was, as the ladies team from Eau Claire is here, and they had a rough go of it and lost to Stevens, and you've got the Gusties having their starters introduced right now.
Eau Claire's signature wins this season, a season-opening victory against St. Norbert, a win at Wash U in Wash U's Lapata Classic earlier this season. Gustavus lacks signature wins because generally they lack wins. They beat McAllister, They beat Concordia Moorhead. They lost to North Central, and that's the North Central from Minneapolis, Minnesota, the lesser of the North Centrals.
The other North Central,
And so it's been a bit of a struggle, uncharacteristically so, for the Gusties this season. Now they will start with Spencer Tollison, Riley Charbonneau, Alec Koster, Jason Fall, and Ben Lees, the starting five for the Gusties out of St. Peter, Minnesota. And for the Blue Golds from Eau Claire, they will start with George Diekelman, Jack Martinick in the backcourt, Jared Schneiderman in the front court, along with Chris Duff, and Josh Wykes, the fifth starter for the Blue Golds. Tipping it up. Blue Golds control the tip, and if you're watching on the stream, you'll know they're going right to left across your screen. They're wearing the dark navy blue with the white letters and the gold trim. Gustavus in the gold with black letters and white trim here as we get underway. Shot at the elbow, no good by Martinek, and rebound battled for on the floor, and it will be a jump ball, which, of course, if you all remember the opening tip from 24 seconds ago, you'll know that the arrow points towards Gustavus.
Which I actually didn't, so I appreciate you pointing that out.
Gustavus Adolphus, you can just call them Gustavus for short. That's what most people in Minnesota do. Sometimes you forget there even is an Adolphus on the end of it. And I think, in fact, the domain name is gustavus.edu. But we all know how to pronounce it.
Yes.
So we got that going for us. If you don't know how to pronounce Eau Claire, you have not been paying attention to Division III very much.
And you flunked French class.
There you go. Well, and in Wisconsin, they know how to pronounce French. And the shot is good by Ben Lees, and Gustavus is on the board leading 2-0. Eau Claire dribbling around the perimeter. Coming up on the far wing, Martinick now bounce pass in the low post to Schneiderman. Outside, Wykes launches a three from 23, and he hits it. Nothing but the bottom of the net. 3-2 Blue Golds.
A little bit of a token 1-2-2 press here. Very token from Eau Claire. This seems to be designed more to grind a few seconds off the clock more than it is to aggressively try and get to the ball. Does anybody call them the Golden Gusties? I thought that was kind of an unofficial nickname for them.
Yeah, golden Gusties. There's lots of golden things in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like the Golden Gophers kind of set the tone for teams, but not on the floor of late. And a layup good for Jason Fall. Gustavus up by 2, 4-3. Talking with Mark Hansen before the tournament started, one of the focuses that he really wanted his team to get back to was getting back to their kind of defensive philosophy and defensive mindset. They've really struggled, especially in the post defensively, and shot no good by Schneiderman. Might have been blocked by Lees.
That looked pretty good with post defense right there.
I know, right? I jinx them, if that's possible. You jinx them by saying they have bad post defense? Fall with the ball at the elbow, swings outside. Now here's a fall away from the elbow by Charbonneau. Shot no good, and Diekelman with a rebound. Eau Claire pushing it up, trailing 4-3, and it will stay that way, but will go to the foul line.
Good aggressive take there by Josh Wykes, who stayed home for college from Eau Claire. A 10th game of the season, 9th start, pretty consistent starting lineup. Just one guy, Andrew Duxbury, had one start thrown in there, and he's not going to play here this evening.
Wykes makes the first. And he makes the second, so it's a 5-3 lead for the Blue Golds.
Yeah, this was a stretch on the schedule for Gustavus Adolphus, which probably looked a little easier than it's going to end up being. Is they're going to end up playing over the next 3 games. They're going to play Eau Claire, Ramapo, and then St. Thomas.
Yeah,
3 games in a row. Now, St. Thomas, they always knew was going to be a hard game. That may be the only non-ranked opponent of the 3 at the rate that the season is going.
You know, Tommies have struggled after graduating a ton of players as they have a couple of times. There's Tollefson for 3.
Yeah, nice shot from Tollefson. Shooting a low percentage on the season, but wouldn't know it there. A real soft touch, and Gusties on top of the Blue Gold 7-5, 4 minutes into the first half.
Blue Golds swinging around the perimeter. Schneiderman in the low post, guarded by Cruz. Cruz, who did not get the start after starting the first 7 games of the season. And there's a 3 on the way, no good by Martinek, and rebounded by the Gusties.
Gustavus brings the ball down the floor up 2 with 16:38 to play.
Charbonneau with a shot in the lane, no good off the back irons. Martinek comes down with the rebound, pushing it up ahead. The other end, Schneiderman just lays it over the top for 2. And it's a tie ball game. 7 apiece.
Come on, Jared, you're 6'9". Throw that down.
Guess not too inspired by the previous game, huh? We're about 4 dunks in the previous game, including maybe the most thunderous one we've seen at 7 years of the D3 Hoops Classic. A turnover by Cruz, who traveled in the lane.
And he agrees with the call. He gives the thumbs up to the ref. Says, good call.
Yeah, it's Minnesota nice right there.
I was going to say, he must be from the Midwest.
Bit of a border battle between Minnesota and Wisconsin taking place about 1,500 miles from either campus.
In much warmer weather.
In much warmer weather. Nice little reverse layup for Wykes. And Eau Claire takes a 2-point lead.
He's a nice offensive player. He's a nice range of skills. Big body, broad shoulders, so a good rebounder, I imagine. And 6.2 rebounds per game. There's a very nice piece of the puzzle there for Coach Simmerling.
Trying to work his way in the baseline. Shot no good by Skylar Thompson. Eau Claire there with the rebound. Diekelman brings it up the floor. Crossover dribble. Spins his way into the paint. Leaves it a little bit short. Rebounded by Cruz for the Gusties. Gets across the timeline. Swings near side for Thompson. 18-footer won't fall. Rebounded by Diekelman for the Blue Golds. 9-7. Eau Claire with the lead in the basketball. 15:08 to go here in the first half. Glad you're watching us on D3Hoops.com or listening on Blue Gold FM 99.9. And a turnover by the Blue Golds.
Yeah, Gustavus.
And they get it back.
Yeah, returns the favor.
Koster a little bit out of control. Tried to kick it out to the wing and ended up right in the pocket of Martinek.
Well, much like Eau Claire's women's team, all the scoring coming from basically one guy. It was Kayla Hanley in the women's game, and it's all coming from Wykes, although not anymore as Chris Duff connects for his first field goal attempt. And the Blue Golds lead by 4 with 5 and change gone here in the first half, and I will get that.
Just out of my reach. Did my best to come up with that basketball, but fingers are not quite long enough. At least it did not hit a computer. That's all we ask.
That's right. As Dave McHugh retrieves the
I
ball.
hurt my shoulder.
So Gusties will inbound from just in front of our broadcast vantage point.
In case you couldn't tell.
Right.
By the ball being batted out of bounds right through it. Eau Claire comes in as the 11th ranked team in the country, 8-1 overall.
Yeah, an unusual season in the WIAC in terms of the preseason poll. The mainstays, Stevens Point, Whitewater, were coming off not particularly good years, so they received consideration, but not nearly enough to get in. You had Oshkosh, which was in the top 25, and then dropped out, and Eau Claire moved in. River Falls has started to net some votes, but still yet to kind of coalesce around a favorite. And in a week or two, it's not going to matter because they're going to be into that meat grinder that is the conference season, and then whether you're a favorite or not, road wins are hard to come by.
Cruz basket cuts the lead to 2, 11-9. Spinning into the lane, working his way towards the basket, and finishing with a layup is Diekelman.
Nice shot from Diekelman there. Again, very good body control from Eau Claire. They really do a nice job to absorb the hit and just follow through on the shot.
Long 2 on the wing by Skylar Thompson doesn't fall, but Crambeer with the rebound for the Gusties. Swinging around for Getz. Up top with it, Coster. Back near side, 18-footer on the way for Crambeer. No good. Easy rebound for Chris Duff.
Eau Claire runs the break here as Diekelman's shot is no good.
He will draw the foul. 13:20 to go here in the first half. And Eau Claire with a 13-9 lead. Coster picks up foul number 1, just the second team foul for Gustavus. Diekelman, a 71% free throw shooter, and the first one is around and off.
Couple of subs. Gustavus Adolphus will bring Tollefson back into the game. As Alex Kester will get a break. Peter Cruz also heads to the bench. This looks like Skylar Thompson is back in. His free throw is up and good. So 14-9. Blue Gold's lead extended to 5 with 13:20 to play in the first half.
As a Minnesota native, I can't think of a more Minnesota name than Tollefson.
Yeah, Spencer Tollefson. Or Gustav Tollefson.
Yeah, I say if we're Olaf Tollefson or something like that, that would be like Minnesota 1922. Gustavus, 15 to shoot, have the basketball, attacking the basket to our right here in the first half. Back outside, gets. Now in the corner with it is Crambeer. Shot clock down to 5. Up top, launching it is Tollefson off the back iron, no good. Rebound tipped around and controlled by the Gusties for a fresh 30.
And then it had a couple of offensive rebounds in their last 2 possessions to extend their chances here. Still down 5.
Tollefson thinking about the 3, guarded by Diekelman. Picks it up, gives it to Getz, swings around the far wing for Crambeer. Shot clock back down to 9. Cross-court pass swung near side, dribbling in. Tollefson, floater in the lane, and he buries it, and it's a lead is down to 3, 14-11.
Tollefson does not extend the arms out much away from his body when he shoots. It makes that shot very hard to block. You basically have to almost come through him to be able to get to his release point.
DeAndre Lucas with the basketball.
Let's see with both Wykes and Diekelman at it. Well, no, Diekelman is still out there. With Wykes out of the game, who they go to on offense. Nope,
fall away jumper in the lane doesn't fall. And a nearly undercut rebound.
Yeah, little pony ride there as Jaron Schneiderman took Tollefson for a ride.
Is that's something they have here different days of the week, right?
Exactly.
I think that's what's here after we leave is the rodeo motocross or something.
Is that horses riding ATVs?
Other way around. It's ATVs riding horses, my man. All right. A couple of city guys here. Sorry about that. There's a fall away at the lane. Shot no good for Skylar Thompson. Putback doesn't go, but another offensive rebound. Reverse layup. Nice for Ben Lees. And the lead is down to 1, 14-13.
A couple of subs waiting to check in for
both
both teams.
Eau Claire has a player on the floor who's not even on the extended version of the roster that we got from Eau Claire coming into this game. So if number 5 happens, we apologize in advance.
Okay.
Diekelman.
Hopefully they're in the live stats.
Driving the lane. Oh, here's hoping. What do you have? We don't have a spare person. Yeah. So 14-13 the score. Eau Claire with the lead. 10:38 and counting remaining in the first half. Glad you joined us from the D3Hoops.com Classic. Game 5 of 72,000 this week. Okay, maybe 14 games. Seems like a lot sometimes. Crambeer, 4 on the shot clock. Kicks it outside. Tollefson, 3. Might have been partially blocked. Draws a little bit of iron. Eau Claire comes up with the rebound. DeAndre Lucas tracks it down in the corner.
Eau Claire's stuck on 14 for a little while here now. It's a 1-point lead. Last few times down the floor, they've looked indecisive on offense.
Lucas swings near side for Dan Becken. Dribbles in. Dumps it off underneath, and Schneiderman finishes with a nice reverse move underneath.
Schneiderman likes to play with his mouthpiece, Steph Curry style. Is going to get a timeout here taken by the Gusties, I believe. 16-13 to play. It is a 30-second break here from the South Point Arena. These two teams, again, this is one of 2 games for them. They'll be back in action, I think. Both of them are tomorrow. Yep, Gustavus Adolphus plays. Well, we're just going to go off of this one here because this
plays Ramapo at 4 p.m. Local time tomorrow.
Yeah, so that would be 6 o'clock in the Midwest, and then Eau Claire they play 10 o'clock. They play the nightcap tomorrow night against the Banana Slugs, who, as the California team, they get the late game both games.
10 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock here local time in the Pacific time zone. Gustavus with the lead, or Eau Claire with the lead, Gustavus with the basketball. Working on the basket to our right. Shot no good by Fall, and rebound is controlled by Eau Claire. We have Larry Radloff trying to find out who is wearing number 5 for Eau Claire. Getting kind of a questioning look from the official scorekeeper. That's not a good sign. Here's a shot by Chris Duff. Doesn't fall, and rebounded by the Gusties.
Yeah, they do not have a number 5, even in the live stats now. So,
and I copied and pasted straight off of the website.
Yeah.
For all of these things, including the program. I made the program myself. Off the back rim, no good by Lees. Offensive rebound. Caught up underneath is Fall. Kicks it outside. Dribbling in. Left-handed layup good for Riley Charbonneau.
Now by process of elimination, it has to be...
Sean Miller?
No, he's 34.
Yeah, but there's no 34 on the floor.
That's got to be who it is. Yeah, it's got to be Sean Miller.
We haven't had to call his name. I skipped a rebound that he had. Chris Duff. Yeah, there we go. Sean Miller is wearing number 5. Chris Duff with the 3-pointer, and Eau Claire's lead is back up to 4. Now we know. Sean Miller will be wearing the part of number 5 today.
Ben Lees with the ball. 19-15. Blue Gold's on top. Lees drop step. Shot's no good.
Wykes with the rebound. Wykes, the only player here today who hails from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Gianni Rosado also from Eau Claire. He was a scratch this evening. Wykes with the basketball. Puts up a little fall away, and he gets it to fall. Lead is up to 6. 21-15 with 7:41 and counting to go in the first half.
Wykes with 9 points already, and again, a real soft touch.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Eau Claire, 8 of 16 from the floor. Gustavus Adolphus, 7 of 19. Both teams avoiding the 3-point line. 1 of 3 for the Gusties and 2 of 3 for the Blue Golds.
Crambeer looking in the post for Lees. Lees dribbles baseline. Reverse layup doesn't fall, and the Blue Golds collect the rebound.
Nice move, right idea. Used the rim to shield Wykes away from him, but just couldn't finish.
Eau Claire working on the basket to our left here in the first half. Lucas with the basketball, looking low post for Wykes. Steps back, 12-footer, no good, and rebounded right away by Riley Charbonneau. 1 and out for the Blue Golds. Crambeer fakes the three, drives in, bounces on the baseline for Fall. Nothing there, kicks it outside. 16 to shoot, 6:45 to go in the first half. Fall working in the lane, little baby hook, and that's good for 2.
Yeah, Gustavus Adolphus really not looking for anything outside of 6 feet. I mean, everything is very close by, and a foul going to be called there on Jason Fall. He'll pick up the foul. Eau Claire hasn't committed a foul yet.
Diekelman back into the game for the Blue Golds, along with Jared Schneiderman. Replace Miller and DeAndre Lucas. Couple subs checking in for the Gusties as well. Vanna Smith, the only freshman on the roster, into the game for the first time. Skylar Thompson back in as well. Those and Kester, along with Cruz and Charbonneau on the floor for the Gusties. And a layup off the inbounds, no good by the Blue Golds, rebounded by Gustavus. Working in the low post, shot no good by Cruz, and rebounded by Eau Claire.
It's been a long time since I've seen an offense this determined to take every shot from as close to the rim as they're taking them. And that wasn't a particularly good look, but most of them are.
Nice little cutting move down the lane, and Wykes finishes with an easy layup to put Eau Claire back up by 6, 23-17.
A nice move without the ball there by Wykes, and a better delivery from his teammate to get him an open look. I'm not sure. I guess the Gusties as a whole shoot 35% from beyond the arc. I'm not sure who they would put out there to try and extend the defense, but right now it's nobody. There's another shot from 3 feet in. This time it falls for Peter Cruz, who's going to take all of his shots from that close if he can. He's a 6'7" center. (23-19) Eau Claire. 5:21 to play.
Nice little move, and going to go to the foul line as it was
a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah. Well, Martinek being the one who ended up at the bottom of the pile, shall we say.
I think Skylar Thompson, is he going to be the guy who gets the foul?
This is the bad part of being at the opposite end of all the scorers table information. Yeah. Now the scoreboard is calling official back over.
Yeah, they didn't announce the foul because they weren't sure who it was on.
And there's going to be a discussion about that.
They're still not sure who it's on yet.
5:19 to go here in the first half.
Well, there was a foul on somebody who just will remain a mystery to everyone but the scorers table who it was.
Well, it's important for them to know.
Yep.
That's for sure. Second free throw is good, and the Blue Golds lead is up to 6, 25-19. Smith with the ball, just left of the circle, pumps, fires a three. Shot no good, long rebound corralled by Thompson, and then finally the ball settled by Smith out near the circle. Under 5 to go here in the first half. Cruz having trouble getting the ball to the basket and ends up turning it over. Coming back the other way and unable to hang on to the basketball. Diekelman tried to fling a desperation layup at the basket, and it was just enough for him to draw a foul.
That foul is on Peter Cruz. It's the 5th foul on the Blue Golds. I'm sorry, the Gusties.
Cruz is the guy who started all 7 of the games the Gusties had played coming in to the evening.
Yeah, it's about average for the number of games played here. They've had a large conference, so a lot of not a large non-conference schedule for the MIAC teams.
2 free throws good for Diekelman. Lead is 8.
All conference games the rest of the way after this weekend, or this week, I should say, for the Gusties. I think Eau Claire has one more week of non-conference games before they get into the swing of WIAC play.
Yeah, just down to just 14 conference games in the WIAC these days after UW Superior left before last season. Gustavus putting it up with 4 on the shot clock off the back iron by Kester, no good. Rebound battled 4 on the floor, still on the floor, and Kester came up with it, shoveled it to Vanna Smith, a fresh 30 for Gustavus.
Two teams with a very patient, deliberate style here on offense.
Loft pass inside and unable to finish once again is Peter Cruz. Rebound controlled by Eau Claire.
Yeah, Cruz can't believe he missed that. Look of disbelief as it rolls off the rim. He's a good field goal, a good shooter, 64%. Now again, everything he's shooting is from 5 feet in. He doesn't miss very often.
Diekelman with a little fall away, and he hits that one. Biggest lead of the night for the Blue Golds. It's 29-19.
Yeah, they have a couple of guys in Wykes and Diekelman who have just real nice touch on there. They got the fadeaway jumper thing down.
Cross-court pass for Gustavus, and an entry pass by Getz is deflected and taken away by Diekelman. Crosses the timeline, 3:06 and counting. Remaining in the first half, UW-Eau Claire, the 11th ranked team in the country, leads Gustavus Adolphus by the score of 29-19. And Cruz deflects the entry pass into the post off of Jared Schneiderman out of bounds. So it'll be Gustavus basketball.
DeAndre Lucas and Josh Wykes back out on the floor for the Blue Golds, along with Chris Duff. So those three, along with
Dan Becken and Sean Miller, round out the 5 on the floor for the Blue Golds.
Gusties with the ball, down by 10. Again, intent on trying to get everything from close in. That foul line jumper no good, and the rebound controlled by Wykes.
Yeah, you're right about extending the defense, though. Even if you don't have too many great opportunities to shoot from beyond the arc or too many guys who can do it, eventually Eau Claire's just going to pack everything inside, and they're going to make it even more difficult for Cruz, who's already having a bit of a struggle tonight in the interior. That's a deflection, and then a foul going to be called against Eau Claire after Gustavus stepped into the passing lane, took the ball away, and then got grabbed.
Gustavus has got to get some points here. They've been stuck on 19 for a little while.
Fall with the basket, or with the ball. Kester out beyond the arc. Bounce pass in the post to Lees. Lees, the reverse layup, and good once again, and the lead is down to 8, 29-21.
Again, the teams combined 7 3-point attempts. They're living inside the arc.
Duff with the basketball for Eau Claire. Crossover dribble. Picks it up, kicks it outside for Wykes. Wykes swings it around. Becken with the basketball. Lucas from 25 off the front iron, no good, and rebound will draw a foul, and it will be Eau Claire basketball here to shoot nothing, just to inbound the ball.
Yeah, Jason Fall picks up the foul.
16 foul for Gustavus, 1 foul for Eau Claire on the night. Bunch of substitutions here. Martinek back into the game, replacing Becken. Eau Claire inbounding underneath its own basket into Wykes. Wykes, shot might have been partially blocked, gets his own rebound. That one's no good, and rebounded by Tollefson for the Gusties. Pushing the ball up the floor with 1:25 to go in the first half, down by 8.
Coach Siverling wanted something called there so Wykes could get some free throws. I thought it was good clean defense.
Thompson picks up his dribble. Charbonneau launches from 16 off the back rim, no good. DeAndre Lucas there to sky for the rebound.
Even the shots that are farther out are all from around the paint. I mean, farther out for them is the foul line.
Right. 15, 16-footers are about as far as they're taking shots from on a regular basis here. Here's Wykes.
Wow.
Drives the lane for 2.
Yeah, with the way he's built, that move is pretty much unstoppable because, he's so broad across the shoulders. you're going to have to come through him hard to be able to get to the ball when he takes that type of shot.
Wykes a 6'6", 224-pound sophomore. Skylar Thompson's 3-ball rattles out. And Eau Claire can't quite hold for the last shot. There's about a 5-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Up by 10, looking to extend it here in the closing seconds of the first half. Lucas, not closely guarded. Shot clock down to 8. Now comes off a couple of screens, kicks it back out up top for Wykes. Wykes into the lane, forces it up, gets it to fall, and he's going to go to the line.
Nice play by Wykes. That gets him into double figures and pushes the lead to a dozen. Well, he's already in double figures easily, so he's got 15 now.
Wykes averaging 16.4 points a game.
Yeah, the Gusties just don't have, their guards just aren't physically large enough to match up with him, and so he's pretty much able to physically impose his will on whoever's covering him.
65% free throw shooter on the season, trying to complete the three-point play and make this a 13-point lead, and unable to do so off the back iron over the top of the backboard. 33-21, Eau Claire with the lead with 7.1 seconds left.
Dan Becken checks back in for the Blue Golds.
Gusties push it up. Here's a 3-ball on the way for Charbonneau, and this is a round and off. Rebound tipped out, and Eau Claire controls it as time expires. And the first half is in the books with the Blue Golds of UW-Eau Claire, the number 11 team in the country, leading Gustavus Adolphus by the score of 33-21 in a first half, Gordon, in which, you pretty much said it. Both teams content to play around the rim and then around the paint and not necessarily so much around the arc.
Yeah, and with Eau Claire, with Diekelman and Wykes, they have soft enough touch where they're still able to get into the paint and then fade out of it a couple of steps and get a decent shot off. They're not looking to shoot from outside the arc either. If you're going to play that style of game, Gustavus has pretty much limited themselves to reverse layups and hook shots. And Eau Claire, by virtue of the stronger guards, has a little more available at their offensive arsenal if we're going to play this whole thing from 15 feet in.
So we're at the half. We'll take a break, and we'll be back out in a little while here from the South Point Arena and Equestrian Center here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The score, UW-Eau Claire 33, Gustavus Adolphus 21.
Did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that.
It's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
Our obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours, time away from the classroom and practice field, reaching across the country to coach and mentor Special Olympics athletes.
And to learn that in giving, we receive so much more in return. Help us keep that dream alive.
Be part of it.
Get involved.
You can make a difference.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
In any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all.
It's on us.
It's on us.
to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us,
to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. That's what you have here tonight. That's what you've earned here tonight. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
I used to never really talk. Ever. I was scared and shy. It was hard to look at people's faces. I was afraid if I said something wrong, everyone would laugh at me. But then I started to play golf with Special Olympics. I made friends and won lots of gold medals. But I learned more than just playing golf. Special Olympics helped me to find my voice. And now everyone else is speechless.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
For the love of the game. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
This is our It's On Us pledge. It's on us to make a personal commitment to help keep all people safe from sexual assault, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, or ability.
Not to be bystanders to the problem, but to be leaders of the solution. We invite you to join us in this campaign by informing your campuses about the It's On Us mission.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance. A monster dunk or no-look pass. And cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success. And prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
Just a quick notice to our stations along the network. We'll be coming back in 2 minutes. Back out here at the half where UW-Eau Claire leads Gustavus Adolphus by the score of 33-21. If you're watching us on the D3Hoops.com live stream, you see the halftime stats. For the audience on Blue Gold 99.9 FM, we'll run down some of them for you. The Blue Golds, 12 of 25 from the floor, 48%. 2 for 4 from downtown, 7 of 9 from the foul line, 78%. Out-rebounding Gustavus 18-17. 3 turnovers compared to 4 for Gustavus in the first half. The Gusties shooting 10 of 31 from the floor for 32%, 1 of 6 from beyond the arc, and have not been to the foul line. The individual leaders for Eau Claire, Josh Wykes leading the way with 15 points on 6 of 9 shooting, 1 for 1 from beyond the arc. Chris Duff adding 7 points. He's 3 for 4 from the floor. Then Diekelman with 5, Schneiderman with 4, and Jack Martinek with 2 for the total of 33 points. For Gustavus, they're led by Ben Lees with 6 points, 3 of 6 from the floor. Spencer Tollefson with 5, Peter Cruz off the bench with 4, Jason Fall with 4, and Riley Charbonneau for 2 for the total of 21. Alex Kester, Austin Getz, Vanis Smith, Charlie Crambier, and Skyward Thompson played but did not score in the first half of action for the Gusties. A first half, Gordon, in which they ran their offense and they ran it a lot and they got some good-looking shots, but didn't get them to fall, and they didn't stretch it out very far either.
They are aware of their limitations. Let's put it that way. They know that it's Lees and Cruz and not a whole lot else on offense, and so it's a lot of shots from around the rim. Again, a lot of reverse layups to try and guard against the taller Eau Claire defenders. But whether it's here or later in the season, you got to – I was trying to get Simmerling. Yeah, he's trying to make sure they were shooting at the other basket.
Definitely generally how it works.
You got to get guard play. I mean, you can't go without a backcourt play, and you see some of the limitations that add up to that 2-5 record. And again, tough stretch. This is not going to be. If they think their guards are, their guards aren't being really asked to do a whole lot, to be honest, on defense. Eau Claire's content to run and play a close to their in game today. Tomorrow, their guards are going to play, ultra aggressive. They're going to see 6'7" Chris Mosley with arms a flailing flying all over the place against Ramapo. And, St. Thomas isn't a team I'd want to try and get my guard set against either. But for Gustavus Adolphus to have any success this year in conference, you got to get something from the backcourt to balance that out.
As we start the second half, I should remind people this broadcast is presented in part with production truck software by Blue Frame Technology. We thank them for their help in presenting the 7th annual D3Hoops.com Classic as the second half is underway with the Blue Golds moving from left to right across your screen and turning the ball over on their first possession through the pass that basically hit off of the back shoulder of George Diekelman and ran into the backcourt.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I guess you gotta try and run some plays for your guards where you put them into position to score where they're comfortable. You saw a little bit in the second at the end of the first half. They were taking deep shots. I don't know that that's where they're comfortable. You got to try and run something for them that doesn't end with them taking a shot at the foul line. And even when they come off their screens, they always finish. Ouch. And that's not going to be helpful, as he just took a shoulder right in the face, did Alex Kester. Something that does not finish with a curl around the free throw line, because that's not extending the defense either.
3 ball on the way for the Blue Golds, and the first shot of the half is good for Schneiderman. Schneiderman, Martinic, Wykes, Diekelman, and Duff on the floor to start the second half for the Blue Golds, who set up some pressure. Gustavus responding with their starting 5 as well. Tollefson, Charbonneau, Kester, Fall, and Elise. Up at the top with it is Charbonneau. Swings on the wing. Dump pass inside for Elise. Elise at the elbow. No good. Rebounded by Wykes. Then the ball goes to the floor. Stripped, come out. And Gustavus thought they could get it and call a timeout, but instead they will call the alternate possession, which will stay in Gustavus' end anyway.
Eau Claire with a 15-point lead, and has pretty much seemed in control of this game from the moment it tipped off. Obviously, score was closer at the beginning, but it's just never really felt like they were in danger of falling behind. And the shot is blocked, but a foul is going to be called as Chris Duff apparently got a piece of the arm. And let's see if this gives Riley Charbonneau at least a chance to get some free throws and see if it gives them a chance to get into the game. Now, of all the players, Charbonneau's the one, if you can get him going, he's the one statistically that you would expect to happen. He's a 47% three-point shooter.
First one good.
He's an 84% free throw shooter. He just hit that. He's a 15-point per game scorer. So him and Tollefson, they both average over or around double digits. So they're capable of scoring. They just got to find a way to get them into the flow of things. With Charbonneau on a rough free throw shooting game for pretty much everybody, women and men. Charbonneau trying to make it 3 in a row. There you go.
And he does. Rattles that third one home, and he did not have an unmolested look at the basket, though, from about 22 feet out. That's how he got fouled. Did not have a particularly quick trigger or a good option or good opportunity to get that ball off. Dribbling into the lane and going to the basket is Martinez. Shot no good, and he will go to the line.
Eau Claire. With free throws coming here. Eau Claire trying to get back on the winning track. Their last game was a while ago, but it was a loss at Wartburg, 103-90 back on December 11th, and a long break. Play, as you mentioned, Pat, their signature wins. I don't know whether you think of either the WashU win or the St. Norbert win as a signature win, but those are both pretty good wins. And then, Wartburg's a top 25 team, but they didn't win that game. And the rest of their opponents, kind of a lower tier of Division III. They got a win over Viterbo, who's local, but doesn't help them from a strength of schedule standpoint.
Yeah, Viterbo's in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
37-24, Eau Claire with the lead. Now make it 37-27 as a 3-ball goes down for Gustavus.
Yeah, there's Charbonneau. He got the free throws, maybe got him into the rhythm of the game. Contested 3 there, and the Gusties have almost pulled within single digits. Now down 10 with 17:57 to play in the second half.
Gustavus takes its first time out of the game. They have 5 remaining, and if nothing else, maybe just a little bit of a reminder from Matt Seiberling to his defenders is, just as a reminder, Charbonneau,
he can shoot.
Yep, he's a shooter.
Sometimes.
Will is always, of course, an important part of that equation as well. But can is definitely something he's shown here over the last 2 possessions. Eau Claire with the basketball, working on the basket to our right. Schneiderman looking down low post. His pass leads Wykes too far, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be Gustavus basketball. Matt Seiberling arguing for a foul. The official has a very short conversation with him, and we resume action. Tollefson steps back beyond the three-point arc. Kester now swings near side, looking now in the low post for Fall. Bounce pass on the other low post for Tollefson. Here's a three out on the wing and buried by Alex Kester.
Nice shot, and boy, completely opposite approach now this half. They've gone completely away from the inside game, and
now it's inside out.
Yeah,
and it's working for him. 2 threes and a 3-point possession at the foul line. He's cut this lead down to 7. Driving to the basket and picking up a foul is Diekelman.
Yeah, Jason Fall will pick up the foul. I believe that's Jason's second. And going to get a substitution here momentarily for the Gusties. That is his second.
First shot on the way, no good. Diekelman, as we mentioned, a 71% free throw shooter. He was 3 for 4 from the line in the first half. Peter Cruz back into the game for the Gusties, along with Skylar Thompson. Austin Getz.
And I think
Thompson's going to come out.
Yeah, he's cut.
Yep.
Skylar Thompson's got a cut on his face, so they're going to make him stitch him up. And actually, it's going to be the Eau Claire medical training staff who comes over to help him out. Nice gesture. There are medical staff who are provided by the event here as well. A couple of teams have their own trainers. And Skylar's, apparently his nose that's bleeding. And he's going to have to sit while they get it figured out.
Nope. Immediately goes back to the scorer's table to check in. So we resume play with Diekelman's second shot, and he makes that one. So the lead is 8, 38-30 with 17 minutes to go here in the second half.
I just noticed they played Tom Sawyer by Rush at the half, which is not in and of itself particularly noteworthy.
Okay.
Except for the fact that the head referee's name is Tom Sawyer. So someone having a little bit of fun with the head referee. That's the one. Yeah.
Layup no good by Gustavus. Getz doesn't get it to Fall, but the rebound and the putback is good for Jason Fall.
Good persistence, and boy, we put the first half of the Gustavus Adolphus low post players with the second half of the Gustavus Adolphus guards together. We have an offensive juggernaut.
That's a heck of a team.
But seriously, Gustavus playing much better here this half, and their guards are the reason why.
Duff loses the handle on it. Gustavus brings it back the other way. Charbonneau kicks it off for Getz. Up top, Kester. Back to Charbonneau from 23. Around and off. Cruz with the long arm on the rebound, but there will be a foul against Gustavus.
I guess it's on Cruz. I thought he had come free cleanly to pick up the rebound, but apparently they're going to say he pushed off.
Second foul for Cruz. Third team foul of the half. Remember, we made a point of noting that there were basically no fouls called in the first half. There was just 1 against Eau Claire, 7 against Gustavus Adolphus, so not a whole lot of foul trouble to speak of.
No.
It happens when there aren't fouls called. And this crew where Tom Sawyer, Tony Thomas, Eugene Felice, we're very happy for them keeping this tournament on track.
They can stick around and do a couple more games if they want.
Game 5 of 6. I'm sure we'll see them again at a round and in for George Diekelman.
40-32. Gustavus more than hanging around now with 15 and a half minutes to play.
Charbonneau across the timeline for Kester. Gets it back. 15:30 to go in the second half. gets.
And at least, again, as Kester comes free there, at least they're finishing their screens out on the wings. They're pulling the Eau Claire forwards and guards away from the rim.
There's Kester from 19, and he hits that.
He's got a nice touch. He should not be reluctant to shoot.
Kester, 6'2" senior wing out of Redwood Falls, Minnesota, way out in the western portion of the state, although that's only about, I would say, about 60 or 70 miles west of Gustavus Adolphus. Totally making that up. Someone Google map me St. Peter, Minnesota to Redwood Falls.
Where is St. Peter?
St. Peter is near Mankato.
Okay.
So it's within a couple days stagecoach ride from Minneapolis. If you watched Little House on the Prairie, George Diekelman with the layup. It's about, I'd say it's about 70 miles, 60 miles southwest of Minneapolis.
Okay.
For me, it's a little over an hour drive from my house in the suburbs, and the shot does not fall for Cruz, but he draws a foul.
And I like what Cruz does there to, make sure that it doesn't become too lopsided one way. He gets the ball, and he says, immediately looks to take his shot, get to the rim, gets the foul, and get a couple free throws here.
Cruz is 67% free throw shooter on the season. First foul shots of the night.
Yeah, you live in Minnesota. Have you been to all of the campuses of these conference schools?
Of the MIAC. I've been to all the campuses, but I have not been to St. Mary's for a sporting event.
Okay.
My dad graduated from St. Mary's, so yes, I've been there for. I was there for reunions when I was small. I think that's the only one I haven't.
And they don't have football, so you're not getting there.
Not getting there anytime soon,
yeah.
I suppose. I could go down for a hockey game or something.
Yeah.
I feel like helping Ray Biggs out at d3hockey.com. Lead cut to 6, 42-36, as both the foul shots are good. Gustavus plays Peter Young Arena is this big, huge thing built in, I would guess, the 70s or early 80s. Gigantic when Gustavus was fantastic at basketball. There's a nice feed from Diekelman to Josh Wykes for a bucket underneath. It's a little more than they can fill right now, but when Gustavus is good, they put 1,500 people a night, and they host high school playoff games as well. The hockey arena is in the same building, just a couple of doors down the other end of the building. There's a cutting layup good for Skylar Thompson. And now Gustavus going toe-for-toe here, toe-to-toe, or shot-for-shot with the Blue Golds. 44-38 Eau Claire with 13:40 to go in the second half. And you joined us here on D3Hoops.com and on Blue Gold FM 99.9.
Eau Claire starting to struggle here a little bit. One and done. Gusty's back the other way.
Tollefson out on the wing. Up top with it, 3 on the way. There's going to be a foul called that negates all of that.
They showed number 50?
40?
Oh, 40 would be Lees. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
With the illegal screen. Lineup refresh here for the Blue Golds. Sean Miller on the floor. It's for the second time this evening. Jack Martinek in the game. Josh Wykes. DeAndre Lucas, who's bringing the ball up the floor, along with Dan Becken. Becken with the basketball. Now Martinek out on the left wing. Dribbles in now, takes it, and shot good, and he's going to go to the foul line. Looked like he went in almost completely out of control, but had just enough control of the basketball to put it in.
Nice play there by Jack Martinek, to the delight of the Blue Golds women's basketball team, who's in the arena here watching this one.
And he completes the three-point play. Yeah, a sizable Blue Gold contingent.
Yeah.
It's a good time to escape the weather in the upper Midwest, I could tell you that much. Even it was 35 degrees out here this morning. I went for a jog in shorts. It's like 50 degrees warmer than it's like 20 degrees warmer than what I left, but it was pleasant. I got off the plane whatever day that was, Tuesday. It was 40 degrees, and I'm like, It makes 40 degrees feel warm. That's what I'm saying. Minnesota, Wisconsin, this time of year can be kind of brutal at times.
Oh, yeah.
But it rained on Christmas Day. So third team foul called on Eau Claire. Gustavus, long inbounds to the freshman guard, Vanis Smith. For Thompson, back for Smith. 12:40 to go in the second half, 47-38. Eau Claire with the lead, Gustavus with the basketball. Crambier back for Smith. Bounce pass up top for Cruz. Back out for Crambier, shot clock at 11. Eau Claire doing a good job defending on the perimeter. Shot no good by Thompson off the back iron. Rebound corralled and saved inbounds into the hands of Martinek. Miller with the basketball for Eau Claire. 47-38, make it 49-38 as Martinek finishes in the lane.
Yeah, a couple of nondescript possessions in a row there for Gustavus on offense, and they just can't really afford to have that happen. Although all the hard work they had put into getting it to a two-possession game, now it's back to double digits. Nice turnaround shot by Cruz.
I say they were nondescript. I did my best to descript them, but there was not a whole lot you could do. Lead cut to 9, and Gustavus takes a full timeout. We'll keep it here.
Because where would we go?
We have ads to run.
Oh, that's true.
We've got one more game. Yes, we are not done playing basketball. We're not even close to done playing basketball, because there are more games to play. Earlier this morning, Pacific time, women's action, Lewis and Clark defeated Simpson 60-54. Puget Sound defeated Coe by the score of 76-47. Stevens defeated the UW-Eau Claire women by the score of 50-43. And then, of course, the thriller, which took place right before this, with Ramapo defeating Salisbury by the score of 66-65. The Roadrunners handing the fifth-ranked Seagulls their first loss of the season. This game features the other top 25 team in men's action in the tournament, and that's the Blue Golds of UW-Eau Claire, the 11th-ranked team in the country, leading Gustavus Adolphus 49-40 with 11:52 to go in the second half. I'm Pat Coleman along with Gordon Mann. Dave McHugh, our producer here on this game this evening at the D3Hoops.com Classic. Miller with the basketball for Eau Claire. For Martinek. Dribbles up, stops at the foul line, back outside Miller, the freshman. Bounce pass inside. Working his way in, shot off glass and in for two for Josh Wykes.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Wykes has had 15 points for a while here and has not really asserted himself in the second half. Look for him to try and get a couple of shots here, get back on track. His team's still up 11, but I'd like to see him be a little more aggressive on the offensive side. Now he's having to work hard on the defensive side because he keeps getting matched up with Peter Cruz, who's got about a head on him in terms of size. And they've gone back to that 5 foot in or nothing approach on offense the last couple of possessions.
51-40, Eau Claire with the lead in the basketball. Miller nearly turns it over on a pass on the baseline, and it does indeed come out. Gustavus, controlled the basketball for a split second and then got it back and enough to get a timeout.
So you've seen the WIAC schools when they're really, really good. Stevens Point, who's been here. Whitewater's won a couple of national titles. This is the highest ranked team from the conference this year.
For the moment.
For the moment, what do you think?
I think probably Whitewater's the best team in the conference right now. They have a key mid-season transfer in who just became eligible and is beginning to light it up. But Eau Claire can definitely hang with that, I think. One of the things that's so difficult to tell about the WIAC is sometimes the good teams are really defensive, grinded-out kind of teams.
Right.
And they don't necessarily impress you with their glitz and their flash. The Stevens Point championship teams are like those. The Whitewater championship teams generally are not like those. They're a little bit more showy offensively.
Right.
But yeah, I think Eau Claire, although they've kind of struggled here in the second half, I think that they're in a position to certainly contend and be maybe one of the teams that gets a first round bye in that 6-team tournament, or
which is big. Yeah,
that's it, exactly.
And I thought Oshkosh, they've got a couple of players, one in Ben Boots, who they've got a couple of players who I think are very good offensively.
I tell you, too, we'll get to this in a second here, as Wykes Drives left hand and in for two. One of the things that's kind of not something you've had to think about in the WIAC for a while is Zorn Arena is a tough place to play. It's a tiny little old gymnasium that has been, I'd be guessing, they've played basketball there for about 60 or 70 years. That's an intimidating place to come in and play when Eau Claire is good. They can fill that place. Eau Claire fans, Eau Claire natives, Eau Claire residents fill that place. And, that makes it really difficult as well.
The three-pointer for the Gusties gets them within 10. That last three, notwithstanding, this game has regressed back to the first half with Eau Claire using Wykes and Diekelman to get what they want, and the Gusties looking for everything very close to the rim.
Wykes has the basketball, working his way in, and is going to draw the foul. Trying to work his way to the basket against Ben Lees, and ended up throwing a shot where he didn't have a good look at the basket, but picked up the foul.
Now, Wykes is legit, though. He is, take a look here. I don't know if he received any kind of honors last year. I know all the conferences do their all-conference honorees a little differently, and I know the WIAC does something like 15 people on their first team. So.
It's worse for football. It's like 35 all-conference players all on the first team.
Yeah, it's something like 15 or 20 guys on or it's something like 8 or 10 guys on the first team and 8 or 10 on the second.
Both foul shots good, so Eau Claire extends its lead back out to 12, 55-43. 9:14 and counting remaining in the second half.
You mentioned, the way the preseason poll was fell out in the WIAC as this three is up and good. For Kester, it was Oshkosh was picked first, then La Crosse, who won the conference last year for the first time in half a century, then Whitewater, then Eau Claire. Stevens Point was picked sixth.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a regurgitation of the previous year's finish, right?
Yeah, fair point.
It's really hard to tell, too, whether that's a down year. Plus, Stevens Point has, some stuff hanging over their head in terms of NCAA investigation. That probably dampens enthusiasm. There's a three-pointer, good from long distance for Jared Schneiderman. Cruz going to go to the line. His team down by 12, 58-46, with 8:23 to go in the second half.
Eau Claire, three guys returning who are all conference, but Wykes was not one of them.
First one off the back iron, too strong for Cruz. Yeah, Oshkosh just really laid it to St. Norbert right before the holidays.
Yep.
Second one goes down. Cuts the lead to 11, 58-47. Lucas with the basketball, gives it up. Now up top with it, Chris Duff. Swings far side for Martinek. Working inside, Diekelman picks it up on the baseline, back out top for Lucas. 5 seconds on the shot clock, dribbles in, kicks it outside. Three ball on the way, off the back iron, too strong by Diekelman and rebounded by Gustavus.
Well, here's a reason Wykes wasn't honored last year. He didn't play at Eau Claire. He played for Southwest Minnesota State.
Oh,
didn't transfer, which I gather is a Division II school.
That's correct.
So that's one reason not to be honored.
Yep, but he comes back home to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, having a strong season so far.
He was a redshirt freshman last year there. So a sophomore by athletic eligibility. Nice pickup, to say the least, out of the transfer.
Yeah, when we get our D3Hoops.com Classic interviews online sometime later this evening or tomorrow, I talked with Matt Seiverling about him and about his, the kind of formation of his team and the way that they've kind of really meteorically rised. Wow, that's not neither of those were words. their arc, I expected them to be maybe in this position next year. They've kind of accelerated that a year. And
they're a year early.
Wykes has and I'm a couple of words early. As
Martinic with a nice finish. Yeah. And Martinic's had a nice half here. He was all-conference. I said before that they had 3 all-conference honorees last year. It was Martinic, Snyderman, and Diekelman were the 3.
Eau Claire, an institution, as well as a men's basketball program that draws pretty heavily from across the border in Minnesota. As you come from the Twin Cities and drive east into Wisconsin, first you pass the exit for UW River Falls, just about 10 miles in. 31 miles later, I know this because I've driven it a lot, you pass Menominee, Wisconsin, which is where UW Stout is, and then it's just another 15 to 20 miles down the road before you start passing exits for Eau Claire, Wisconsin. In all, Eau Claire is about 85 miles west or east of Minneapolis. It's really easy to pull kids out of there, but they've struggled to do so because, Eau Claire just hasn't been very good in men's basketball for quite some time.
Yeah.
The glory days of the 90s and the trip to the title game in 2000 really went by the wayside for about 10 years before Cyberling was hired here now in his
7th year. Well, 7th as a coach, 5th with,
Yep.
5th with the Blue Golds, and a graduate of the university. Yes, Martinic, man.
Wow.
All right, it's not an accident if you do it twice. He's just got that move down pat. That's the same move he had earlier. Although he's shaking his head like, I can't believe that went in. So
that was a basket? He leads a 17, biggest lead of the night for the Blue Golds.
Little smile from Jared Schneiderman after the made shot.
He makes the free throw as well to make it a 65-47 lead coming up on the 6-minute mark remaining in the ball game. Gets with the basketball, launches from 19, and that is good for 2.
$5:45 to play here in the second half, and Gusty's made it interesting for a while, but now it feels like we're back on autopilot towards an Eau Claire victory, which is how it candidly has felt for about 35 minutes that we played so far.
Here's a fall-away jumper on the baseline. And
shots like that are
buried.
The reason why.
Wow. Diekelman just buries that. Impressive 14 points on the night for Diekelman.
And the Gusties were most effective when they had their guards involved. And, again, they've gone back to – and I think some of it is Eau Claire is no longer letting them have those open looks on the wing.
Charbonneau not on the floor at the moment as well. Here's a step in 2 by Fall, and it falls, leads the lead down to 16 points. Diekelman crosses midcourt with it, 4:42 and counting. Duff, bounce pass at the elbow for Schneiderman. Schneiderman trying to make a move, and it wasn't a legal one. He's called for travel. Picked up his pivot foot as Jack Martinek asks on his way by. Yes, that's correct. That was the answer. That is pretty much what traveling is.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I was taught in 4th grade. I don't think it's changed. I'm not going to say how many years it's been since I was in 4th grade. Nearly stolen by Duff. Tried to step into the passing lane. Tollefson underneath. Shot no good. Can't control the rebound, but gets it back for the Gusties. 4:15 and counting. 67-51. Eau Claire with the lead. Gustavus with the basketball. Here's Cruz in the low post. Working his way. Gets his way around the defender Wykes. And unfortunately unable to finish. Wykes corrals the rebound.
67-51. Eau Claire on top. Under 4 minutes to play here as the Blue Golds look to be on their way to being 9-1.
Running the shot clock down to 8. Diekelman picks up his dribble, tries to cross-court pass, and it is taken away by Skylar Thompson. Thompson into the front court, up into the paint, throws it up, no good. Unable to come up with the rebound, Gustavus, and it's Eau Claire bringing it back the other way.
Eau Claire has got a lot of guys here. At some point,
Matt Seiberling just took a timeout, possibly an opportunity to get some of them in.
Yeah, not to discount the Gusties entirely, but this game feels like it's in hand and a chance to get some of these younger guys some minutes. We've got, if you look, as we look down, got a handful of guys who have played, sparingly, who are available. They've got, as we mentioned, there are 3 who are not. Steve Christensen, Andrew Duxby, and Gianni Rosado are scratches for tonight. Some of these other guys.
Yeah, if not here at this timeout, but opportunity to get them in. Yeah. All in all, other than about a 2-minute span where Gustavus was taking some shots and getting them to fall, it has been a very impressive performance at both ends of the floor for the Blue Golds.
Yeah, fundamentally solid team for Coach Seiverling here, and just kind of handling Gustavus Adolphus in all facets of the game.
There's one more game to come. UC Santa Cruz and Wheaton will tip it off here at will be 8 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. if you are in Central Time. And we invite you to stick around for that. If that's the game you're looking for, we'll stop the video and you'll have to restart somewhere else. But you can find that at d3hoops.com. And if you're an Eau Claire fan listening on the radio on Blue Gold 99.9 FM, we appreciate you doing so. And you can follow the rest of the tournament at www.d3hoops.com.
Yep, men's basketball team will be back in action tomorrow in the late game, 8 o'clock local time. So that's 10
p.m. Central.
10 p.m. Central.
Yep.
Eau Claire and Santa Cruz.
The Banana Slugs and the Blue Golds.
The women will also play tomorrow. I'm sorry, women have tomorrow off. Women play on Friday. They play 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday against Pacific Lutheran.
Wykes with a steal in the low post. It's Blue Gold ball. 2:47 to go. Inside, and Wykes gets around his defender for 2. Couple of subs waiting to check in at the next dead ball for Eau Claire. Here's a fall away for Charbonneau for 2. Shot clock at 18. Martinek drives in for a pair, coming in from the far corner for 2.
18-point lead for the Blue Golds.
Perfectly content to trade baskets at this point.
Yep.
Shot blocked by Chris Duff. Gets the rebound.
Now, there's a couple of guys waiting to check in here for Eau Claire, but
Seiverling's got timeouts to use if he wants to get them in. But
yeah, they're not new. They're guys who played significant in the first half, DeAndre Lucas and Dan Becken.
Ball goes out of bounds, or foul actually, and between the foul shots we'll get these guys in. Tollefson picks up foul number 4. Diekelman back to the line. He makes the first. Becken comes in. Lucas is waiting to check in for Diekelman. For Gustavus, Getz and Tollefson go to the bench.
And
Charlie Crambier back into the game.
I would say that's probably it for those two, for all the players who just checked out. I just noticed Eau Claire is shooting 64% from the field, 27 of 42.
Yeah, they're hitting
everything.
Pretty much. I mean, you look at the circus shots that we've called here that you did not have thought would have gone down. They're getting some fortunate rolls, but a lot of those are clearly shots that they take on a regular basis.
15 of 19 from the free throw line, and even from the three-point line, where while they haven't taken many, they've hit 4 of 7.
Ball goes out of bounds off of an Eau Claire player. Gustavus brings Vanna Smith back into the game, and Riley Charbonneau will take a seat for the final 128. Inbounds, shot right away on the baseline, no good by Skylar Thompson, and Lucas comes down with it. Will walk the ball up the floor, a minute 18 remaining in the ball game.
He just peeked up at the scoreboard to see himself. That's something he probably doesn't get a chance to do a whole lot and say, oh, look, there I am.
Yeah, there's no WIAC gyms where you can do that. Quick pass out in the corner. It's a 3-ball on the way. No good for Kyle McDonald into the game for the first time.
And Lucas reaches in and gets the foul.
A couple of subs waiting to check in. Jack Lacey will come in here and get his first action along with one more player for the Blue Golds, and that is Montrell Oliver, freshman from Naperville, Illinois. D3 fans at home, tell me who is in Naperville, Illinois?
North Central.
North Central of Illinois.
Who's been here before. A couple years ago. They were at the D3 Hoops Classic.
Played lacrosse.
And Ramapo.
They played basketball. Yeah. They played UW lacrosse. Right. There's a coming up the baseline and shot good for Skylar Thompson.
That Ramapo game was a game that had, like, no exaggeration, something like 80 fouls in it. I remember it was like 45 fouls for one team.
3-pointer good for William Wright in the game for the first time.
Oh, nice finish.
The other end, Skylar Thompson for 2. With under a minute to go, Thompson will have a shot to complete the 3-point play. 6'4" junior wing out of Millville, Minnesota. Playing in just his 7th game of the season, averages 3.8 points a game. 1 for 2 from the foul line coming into the night. Shot no good. Rebound tipped around and controlled by William Wright.
Well, all in all, like you said, Pat, with the exception of about a 2-minute stretch, just an utterly dominant performance for the 11th-ranked Blue Golds here, and they're going to win this. Sometimes you say the score didn't indicate the game. This time it did.
Right on.
It is, yep. It has been a dominating performance. And just to put an exclamation point on it.
Montrell Oliver, who doesn't even make the top 15 cut in our scorecard.
I know. It probably hasn't scored yet this year. Just did.
I have no way to tell. If only there were a website for something like that. The game ends on a missed Gustavus 3-pointer, and that is the end, the final score, 78-57. UW-Eau Claire defeats Gustavus Adolphus, and yeah, just a fantastic performance by the Blue Golds. The Blue Golds improved to 9-1. Gustavus falls to 2-6. I just have to apologize to the Gustavus fans watching online when the scoreboard bar crashed sometime in the middle of the second half. Dave rebuilt it on the fly, and he put in the Wheaton logo for Gustavus.
The ultimate insult, just not your night. Well, it was the night for Josh Wykes. He had 25 points on 10 for 13 shooting. He also had 7 rebounds. George Diekelman, 16 points, 15 for Martinek, and 10 for Schneiderman. And, you know, that's the team right there. For Eau Claire, they had 3 all-region or all-conference players last year, and they added Wykes as a transfer from Division II, and those are the guys who are going to lead the way for them this year, and they led the way in impressive fashion tonight. For Gustavus Adolphus, Riley Charbonneau very quietly scored 13 points. Peter Cruz had 9, most of them in the first half. And then a bunch of players beyond that, Alec Foster and Jason Fall with 8 apiece. Skylar Thompson and Benjamin Lees with 6, and then Spencer Tollefson and Austin Getz with 2 points. And again, just utter domination across the board. Eau Claire, 64% from the field, 29 of 45, 5 of 9 from behind the arc, 15 of 19 from the free throw line. Gustavus, 23 of 63, 5 of 15 from the three-point line, and 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Assist to turnovers, an advantage for Eau Claire, rebounding advantage for Eau Claire by 5, and again, just a very impressive performance for the Blue Golds men's team, who will play in the nightcap tomorrow. They will play the Banana Slugs. Yes, that is actually their mascot. The Banana Slugs of UC Santa Cruz, and the women again get tomorrow off, and then they'll play in the final women's game of the event when they'll play Pacific Lutheran. They don't get to play Banana Slugs. They'll have to settle for just playing the Lutes of Pacific Lutheran. And for Gustavus Adolphus, back in action tomorrow. Quick turnaround for them. They play Ramapo, who will be flying high after their win over Salisbury. So a tough turnaround for Mark Hansen and the crew. But they will try and get it back together and get out of this weekend 1-1 with a matchup looming with the Roadrunners.
So we will take a break. This will be the end of this broadcast on this stream. And if you're still with us at Blue Gold 99 FM, we thank you for joining us. This copyrighted broadcast of Division III basketball on D3Hoops.com is the property of D3Hoops.com and intended solely for the private, personal use of our audience. Any other broadcast, rebroadcast, or the use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of D3Hoops.com is prohibited. And yes, UW-Eau Claire got the express written consent of D3Hoops.com. We appreciate
They actually did.
them asking.
I wrote it myself.
There you go. Final score, UW-Eau Claire, they improve to 9-1. They defeat Gustavus Adolphus by the score of 78-57. Good night, everybody. Come on back for Game 6 in about 15 minutes.